Hi guys, today I'm going to walk you through how to do goddess pose. Goddess pose, Utkata Konasana, standing for fierce angle pose in Sanskrit. So, to start, let me just explain a little bit about goddess pose. It strengthens and tones the entire lower body, including the glutes, the hips, the thighs, the calves, the ankles. It opens the hips and the chest. It stretches the thighs. It elongates the spine. So this is a very good pose. It does all kinds of good things for the body. It also helps to warm and energize the body. It improves balance, focus, concentration. It also stimulates the respiratory and the cardiovascular systems, and it helps to relax the muscles of the pelvic floor. And being that I have 4 kids, I should mention that this is a great pose to do when you're pregnant. It's highly beneficial. The squatting can create more room in the pelvis, making your pregnancy, your labor, and your childbirth more comfortable. And who doesn't want that? So contraindications to this pose would be don't practice if you have a recent or chronic injury to the legs, the hip, the back, or the shoulders. If you have a shoulder injury, you can do the lower body stuff. If you have a lower body injury, you can still do the upper body stuff. It's not quite the same without the squat, but those are things you could do in class if you need to skip the pose. So to start, you're going to take a really wide stance. You're going to turn the toes toward the front corners of the mat here. So make sure you're taking a wide enough stance so that your feet get nice and flat on the mat. So if your heels are lifted, if you're really tight, the heels might be up a little bit. It might be hard to get them flat. You can always take a folded yoga mat or a blanket and stick it underneath the heels here. Just make sure your blanket is somewhat firm so you're not being thrown off balance while you're doing it here. So starting in this wide stance here, I like to start inhaling the arms up overhead. You can start wherever you want with your arms, but this is the way I'm going to do it. And then as I lower my hips down, I start to bend my elbows here. So arms are going to come to a 90-degree angle. My palms are facing forward. Fingers spread nice and wide, nice and fierce for this fierce angle pose. The hips sink down. Ideally, you want the thighs parallel with the floor. A lot of people don't have that range of motion. Don't force it. Don't pull anything. Just come down as far as is comfortable for you. Goal pose is to be parallel. If you're somewhere up here and your body's telling you to stop, that's completely fine. So just letting the hips sink down. My torso is stacked right over my hips here. Good. And then my thighs are rotating backwards. So you want to make sure your knees aren't dropping inward here. That's going to be really hard on your knees. Knees are also aligned somewhere over the ankles. I'm falling. Somewhere over the ankles or the toes. Just make sure they're not going past the toes. I have a pretty wide stance here, so I'm more ankle distance apart. But if they're over the toes, that's okay. Just never put the knees past the toes here. Good. Good. So as this hips sink down, just start drawing the shoulder blades together, opening the chest. Make sure you're not leaning back here. Make sure you're not leaning forward here. This I see a lot, people leaning forward. If you're maybe too low here and it's making you lean, maybe just come back up a little bit so you can get the torso nice and straight. You want the spine nice and long. Good. Nice and straight, nice and tall. Good. I'm just holding here, maybe gazing toward the horizon as you hold. It'll start to burn after a little while. Tuck in the tailbone, engage in the core. Good. And then when you're ready, making your way back up. And then dropping the hands down. So there are lots of different options with the arms here. I usually start from star. You can actually stay here if you want to keep your arms here. You can bring the hands in prayer position up above the head. You can bring the hands in prayer position at the heart. You can bring the hands to the hips if you need to here for some support. Or if you have those shoulder issues, you might just want to stay right here or even rest the hands out a little bit wider for the shoulders. Good. So that is goddess pose. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.